Thank you very much, David. And it's almost a crime to let me speak after Alfonso. You know, he had this visionary stuff, and I have to go down to the ground and tell you actually what you all had on your slides, sustainability. You know, you write sustainability down, that's nice, it sounds nice, it's great, it's politically correct, you name it what you want to. But if you really drill it down, what does that mean? And if we want to become sustainable, and we have to become sustainable, we have one Earth to deal with, and we have to be equitable around the world, so we have actually to share the resources. So I would like first to explain you what the 2000 watt society is, and then I tell you how we came on this idea. So I have in the background Singapore, but the data I'm going to show you are data from Switzerland, because there is where this journey all started. What is 2000 watt? Just to make sure that we all understand ourselves, what is energy? It's not yet the work. So when you put the energy into work, then you talk about kilowatt hours and all these kind of things. So 2000 watt per person corresponds, and in a 2000 watt society, everybody has 2000 watt. So 1 kilowatt hour every half hour, or 17,520 kilowatt hour per year. This is 2000 watt. Or it is 1,700 liters of oil or gasoline. Or it's constantly 120 watt bulbs continuously burning. That means 2000 watt. Okay, so how this idea came all about? About in '95, that was just after the Rio conference, when everybody was talking about sustainability and nobody really knew what it is and still doesn't really know what it is. We tried to find something which and I always said I have to explain it to a chemist, and I hope I don't step on the foot of somebody here, but chemists are relatively straightforward in this thinking. They have to make synthesis and so on, that's all it is. I need to explain sustainability with all its difficulties to a chemist, and the chemist has to know what that means. So we actually were thinking about, well, it would sound good 1,000, but then we made the back of the envelope calculation, this doesn't work. So we came to the conclusion, as a visionary goal, 2000 watt is where we want to go. In '96 we launched it. In 2000 we said, okay, let's do a case. Let's show that this is possible, and you will see then what that means. That we actually can build a building which reflects the work in a 2000 watt society. That decision has been taken in 2000. The 2001, the Swiss Federal Energy Agency said, this is our planning tool for the future. 2004, technical book for the 2000 watt society was written. 2000 watt perspective for Switzerland has been calculated, and I must say my biggest success was to win a plebiscite. You know, you are in Switzerland. We all say the government and the politicians have to do things. Not in Switzerland, because in Switzerland politicians have not much to say. The people have to vote about it, and then the politicians have to actually execute. And that is the same thing. So the politicians were discussing we should take 2000 watt as a guiding principle, and some people said this is not interesting because the energy industry wanted to sell the energy, and then there is a plebiscite. And then the people have to go and vote. And we won with about 75%, which in Switzerland is huge. Mostly it's 49 to 51, and we won that. A plebiscite to use the 2000 watt society as a planning tool for the city of Zurich. That means from now on, the politicians have to take that into account and cannot walk over it. And we as people cannot say to the politician, you should, you should, you should. We told them exactly what they have to do. Okay, So now what is this 2000 watt and how does that look like? Here you have the energy use from Switzerland. This Switzerland is at the moment about slightly over 6,000 watt. Singapore is about the same. The US is about 12,000 watt. Canada is about 13,000 watt. Just to give you a little bit of feeling, Bangladesh is about 300 watt. China is about 600 watt. Always per capita. All these things is always per capita. And that's why you can actually make a comparison between two. Switzerland has not much of, or has much of non-fossil fuel. It's all hydro, the energy. Then this is the fossil fuel. And this is what we call the gray energy or embedded energy. This is the energy you import in goods from the outside. This is not the energy used in the country, but that's what you bring in. Here you see the lines for China, they go up, here India. And if we talk about 2000 watt, so Switzerland was around 1960, 1963 a 2000 watt society, went up there. So we have to come back. The question is now, how can you come back? Is that technically feasible or is this just a crazy idea? So the report I showed you there is actually, it shows very clearly this is all feasible with some time lag into it. What you have here as numbers are the reduction potential based on existing technology, not technology which will be somewhere perhaps and so invented. Light, 20% easily, motors 25%, glass bottles about 30%, airplanes about 40 to 45%, cars 50%, building for the heat for the buildings about 75%, and the buildings alone with existing technology and intelligent design you can reduce by 80%. Nobody believed us. The architect at ETH said this is totally impossible, forget about it. So we thought, well, let's have another analysis and see specifically in which area we can go down. And this is what you see here are actually the low-hanging fruits. The green and kind of the gray bars is the energy which is used in watt per person actually in Switzerland. And you see here living and working very high, and the red bar is where we have to go when we want to come to the 2000 watt society. The green bar indicates that technologically you are able to go down to there at the moment. The gray bar shows that we are technologically not yet where we would like to be. There, we need some innovation there. But you see, it's still like kind of mobility, public transport. You don't really have to cut anything. Aircrafts, you still can fly if not too many other people go and fly also. Mobility cars, you have to have some more energy efficient car, but they are actually on the market, and you go on. So basically, if you think about the planning, this is attainable, say 2050, 2080. But where is actually the problem and what can we do at this very moment? Here the example of this building, which is still the most energy efficient office building in the world. It has been planned in 2000, has been built in 2003, has not been achieved up to now. But what you see here is this is what the normal average Swiss watt per person in the working space is almost 3,000. That building here is about 500 watt. Here you see it a little bit more, and you see it looks also nice. So it's not kind of just some dirt and some wood in there. No, it's a really nice modern building. Here you have the energy which is built into the buildings in these different years which they have been built. It's all below, so historically already below lead platinum, which makes life a little bit easier. And I thought about all these heritage buildings. They probably are very energy efficient. If you go to the old style, you have already done half the work. So that's an argument. It's not only your heart. It is probably you can calculate it down and satisfy the person there who wants to make it. Okay, so where is this building? This building is down here at 1.8 watt per square meter, or calculates into 15 kilowatt hours per square meter and year. This is huge. The problem is this legacy here. The buildings who are there, to replace them, that needs time, and also the planning around it. Now, it's not only the working which actually counts, but also the living and the connection between the living and the working. All these nice areas where you can walk or bicycle, what we have seen, and so that's important. And actually, the private sector said, we're going to build that. We're going to build an almost 2,000 watt quarter. This quarter is close to Zurich. It's between Zurich and the airport. The idea here is, and actually it's built in the meantime, this is just a maquette, but in the meantime it's built. So you have 120 watt for industry, production and services. You have 1,000 watt for traffic and transport. You have 500 watt for individual mobility and 100 watt for living. And this has been achieved in this area here. So you find all the things you need immediately. If you fly then from there, which I do, to Singapore, then your watt actually calculation gets a little bit into troubles. But basically you can build today new cities when you start from them that you come very close to what I said for the 2,000 watt. In this case it's 2,800. So it is feasible. You can do it. Now I got always the remark and said, if we have to cut down on energy use, we actually will not make money anymore. So now I come to money, because this is all nice, reducing energy. And I took the numbers from 2007, before we had this money market turmoil, to make sure that actually at least something is relatively stable. And I just put together on one axis, on the x-axis, the kilowatt per capita use, so in thousands here, and here the GDP per capita. Because if you look at the number, you have here Brazil or Argentina, the world average, which is around 2,000 watt, and the GDP is about $5,000. And then it looks like kind of a almost linear relationship between the energy you use and the GDP you get out of it. So more energy you use, the richer you get. But this graph shows you there are outliers in this thing, and interesting countries who are outliers. You see Japan, Switzerland, but also Singapore here. Even UK is far above this linear relationship. What happens here is basically that by using more energy efficient appliances, buildings, and so, you turn on the innovation. You increase the possibility to export that to the foreign countries to make money. So being energy efficient doesn't mean that you become poorer. The contrary is true. And my point is, this is where we want to get altogether, is high GDP and low energy use, and I hope I have shown you in a few examples, this is not a vision, this is a goal we can achieve in the next 50 to 100 years. Thank you very much.